Hey guys, so we're actually studying flower anatomy. So this is one of my favorite parts of your curriculum is the flower anatomy. So we're going to go through and make sure you label these notes as flower anatomy, okay? And I'll tell you what to write. Alright, so let me get my little highlighter. Okay, so with flower anatomy, you will have to know all these parts, okay? And we'll break it down. Alright, so the peduncle. Okay, the peduncle is the stalk that holds up the flower. Okay, so this is the peduncle. Okay, it's going to hold up the flower. The receptacle is the thickened part of the stem from which the flowers grow. So, the receptacle is going to be where you see where the sepal is. The sepal are these flowers. Okay, I'm going to talk about that in a minute, but the receptacle is right here. Okay, that is it. The peduncle is everything underneath the receptacle. Okay, so the sepals are the small leaves at the base of the flower. Okay, their job is to surround and protect the flower bud before it blooms. So once the flower blooms, the sepals are kind of not that important anymore. Okay, so they have no other function. Okay, so these are the sepals. Okay, and then the petal is a colorful part of the flower that attracts the pollinators. Okay, the petals are just there to attract the pollinators. That is their only job, and these are the petals. Alright, so now we break it down to female parts of the flower. Okay, so the pistil. So the pistil is all three parts together. It's the entire female part of the flower. The stigma. So this is what the stigma looks like. It's the top. Okay, it's the top. The stigma is the tip of the pistil. It catches the pollen grains. Okay, it catches the pollen grains. The style is right here, and it is basically the tube. Okay, a long tube that connects the stigma and the ovary. Okay, this is where the pollen will go down. So, the easiest way to remember style is most girls have style, okay? I try to find ways to remember the female parts and the male parts. And then, go back. And then the ovary is going to house and protect the ovules, and then turns into the fruit, and the ovules are fertilized. So, you have the ovules, which are kind of your seeds, okay? And then they'll turn into your fruit once they're fertilized. And the ovules, when fertilized, turns into seeds and houses the plant embryo. Okay, so the ovary is just there to protect. Okay, so it's just going to protect the ovules. Alright, so the male parts. Okay, the male parts, the entire male part is called a stamen, and it has men in it. That's how I know stamen. Okay, it's the male part. So the entire male part, so the anther and the filament. The anther produces the pollen. Okay, so this is the anther. The filament holds up the anther. That's the only job of the filament. It's just going to hold up. And then pollen is going to carry the plant's sperm cells. Okay, so this is the process of how the flowers work. Okay, so after you watch the lecture, you're going to take a picture of your notes. You're going to upload them to the Canvas shell, and then you will complete this in your Canvas course. If you have any questions, send Ms. Wallace an email.